Alright, so then we're going to do a scarf joint. I have a bunch of necks I have to make. And I do a 3-piece neck with a scarf joint. So to get a 3-piece neck from the beginning, I take a flat sawn piece, just a regular flat sawn, and then you have to make sure that it's not too wide, your middle piece, so it doesn't wind up. So around 20 millimeters is where you would want it to be, because the neck up here is 43 millimeters at the nut, 57 down here. So you get 20 and then you have your end. So I'm going to do a 20 millimeter centerpiece. So I'm going to glue 3 20s together and then put the wings on. So I take a flat sawn piece. When you're working with these things, in the beginning I'm going to just use the wood as it is. Most of the time you'll find out later on that when you do work, it's better to take the wood to the proper dimension beforehand. Otherwise you wind up with all kinds of extra work at the end. Like you could shape the neck, but you wind up with extra meat you don't want to deal with, and then sometimes the scarf joint will move. The scarf joint usually comes in at the they vary all the time, but usually normally it's like the center of the first fret to around the second fret, or to almost to the dot on the third fret dot. But this one here I didn't make. This one's a little different, and it depends on the area that it's in, but the most important part is you need a flat spot for your nut. So this one has a locking nut, so you need to bring the scarf joint has to break basically after that. And depending on the thickness, you're always going to have a different issue, so you have to kind of look at it ahead of time and plan it out. This one's here. I'll show you a different one. Then we have my this is a universe neck we did the inlays on. On this one here, the end of the scarf joint's actually almost at the nut. I mean, just almost. And then it comes down, and this one comes breaks it around here at the second fret. So each one's different, but as long as, and also you got to remember the thickness of the neck's going to matter. Thicker neck's this is going to actually move. So I have a jig that I made for marking it. It's fairly simple. This is 14 degrees, and I machined it. So this is going to give me my line that I'm going to use to bandsaw, but I'm going to actually use the CNC to machine it perfectly so that I have a perfect scarf joint. So in the beginning here, we're going to take a look. I have a piece of wood. I'm going to show you how I do it. Now I don't normally do it exactly like this, but for the video, it'll give you a better idea. This is a piece that I would have cut out. So I'm just going to lay this on here. I'm going to explain the grain in a second here, but this is flat sawn. Like quarter sawn is, the way quarter sawn is a cut in the tree. But actually, when you flip these up, you're switching the grain, so it actually becomes a lot stronger, much more strong. So in that case, we're going to cut this into 3, and I'm going to flip the pieces up. So I got this little piece that's left over. I'm going to use this to mark it. Actually, when I get these done, I run them through my thickness sander, and they'll all be the same size, or the size that I need. So I'm just doing this on the video. Again, video is tough, and I don't want to make it too long. Somebody said they should be 5 minutes. Okay, so now I have my lines. Now, on my bandsaw, which I'm not going to be able to put in this video, but I'll put it in there later, I'm going to set my fence, so I'd say 20 millimeters, like 21 because of the thickness of the blade, and I'm going to saw these out. I'm going to come up with basically 3 long pieces like this. If I had them this way, that's flat sawn. If I flip them up, actually I did that backwards, but this is flat sawn. So I cut this out, then I'm going to flip them up, and then it's hard to see in the grain, but the grain pattern is almost quarter sawn. So you can tell it's a lot stronger. So here's like 3 pieces. I would cut them, flip them up, and glue them together. 3 pieces like that, and longer obviously. And then I have 2 pieces left, and I cut that in half. That's why I have 1 left. And I'll glue the wings on later. Okay, so we'll put that there. Alright, so in this case I got my piece of wood, so I'm going to just say I glued it up. It's all glued together in 3 pieces. So now I'm going to put a scarf joint on. So I'll take my template of whatever neck I'm going to make, which I make these, you know, obviously I make a template, good to have. You want to make sure, I'll just use that as a center line because I don't want to sit there and draw a center line, it's going to take forever. So you have to figure out the center, draw a center line between these 2 pieces, here and here, the center piece. And then we'll put that on there with my center. I'm just going to trace it real quick. Not easy when you're doing a video, of course, but now I got my fret mark, so I want to come in at halfway through between the nut and the first fret, and then we're going to break where it comes out. It should be around the 3rd fret, or between the dot of the 3rd fret dot. Alright, so we're going to take that. I'm going to flip this up. Well, we would bring this over so we know where we're going to go. And then we're going to take this, and then I'll take my jig. Now this wood's thicker than I normally use, but I'm going to mark the 2 spots that I want. Now the reason I'm doing that again is because it needs to be flat at the nut. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm just going to mark it here, but I'm going to, this is thicker than I normally do, but you'll see how it actually extends. And as I make it thinner, the scarf joint is going to move more further up in the neck. Alright, so I have this line here. You can see. Now I'm going to take this to the bandsaw, and I'm going to bandsaw, just freehand bandsaw that off. If you have a chop saw, that's great. They're getting a 14-degree angle on a chop saw is, you have to custom make it. And even that, before I used to cut them by that, and then I have to take it on a belt sander and clean it up, so because I don't want any bad joints. Or I don't want any air gaps or anything like that. I was never like scarf joints, actually, until I figured out a way to do it on the CNC. So then we would have our wood here that we cut it. So we're going to just saw it like that. Now what we're going to have is when it's sawed, it's not going to be smooth. This is already CNC'd, so I'll show you that on a different video. Basically, when you have a scarf joint, it goes together like that. So your nut is going to fall. Your nut has to have a flat spot. I actually machine a flat spot in there, so I know exactly where the nut's going to fall. So my nut's going to be there on the ledge. So I got a ledge because I'm going to have a top lock on this model. So then I have a flat spot here for the top lock already in the program. And then we're going to glue it, and then so I'll put it on the CNC, and then I'll bring it back and I'll show you how to glue it. But this is the joint we're going to basically get. And because it's machined, the way you'll see it is like there's no gaps. Everything's perfect in here. You get a perfect joint when I glue it together, and I'll show you how to do that in the next tape. So I don't want to go too long on this one. And that's it, and I'll be back.